Hola, boa noite. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club. Let's bring on our principal ninja tonight, who's leading the tasting. I was going to say it's not a challenge, a charge is the word I'm looking for, and I haven't had a single drop yet. Let's see how it goes tonight. Looking very summery there, Doc.
Good evening. We've had 3 days of pure sunshine and temperatures up in the early 20s. So I thought I'd bring out the Panama hat that came from Panama last year.
Very good. From one tax haven to another. Let's bring on some more hats. Here's Penny as well. And hats in Coimbra too. There they go. Rachel and Frank. Hatted or hatless in Alvazra. No hats there. Topless.
Feeling a bit nude tonight.
Yes. And Duro as well. So that's the full complement tonight. It's in your hands, Doc. You're taking us to the Tejo, right?
I am indeed. Yes, I'm taking you to the Tejo Valley to the Paris wines of the Tejo Valley, and this is a wine called Black Horse, Vineyards Ferias, so old vines even. And this is a wine which is it's a tribute to the Lusitano horse, the horse that's been was made famous through the Romans' use of it in their cavalry units, and so they branded this wine the Black Horse, the Cavalo Negro, and they Cavalo Negro have a few wines, and in fact there's a Branco quite crazily called Negro, but there we are. Of course, this is really the black wine, the Cavalo Negro. It's real difficult reading this label because it's very fine print. So I'm going to read it off the screen. So the grapes. There, I think it's 3 grapes now. There we go. I had this before, but.
While you're finding that, I'll say a few good evenings there, Doc. We've got Mr. Perkins is here from the Alentejo. Good evening, all. Anna Milne's here as well in Geneva, I suspect. Benoit Ninjas, all of you looking very sharp. Thank you very much. Eric J. Hola, Benoit, all. A pleasure to be in your company as always. Thank you, Eric. Who I think was also on the webinar. Andy and I were both on a webinar previously. I think Eric J was over there as well. So it's quite an interesting movement of people, all in our same homes still, but in different web environments, moving like musical chairs. Sorry, back to you, Doc. What are the grapes?
Right. Okay. So I found them. Right. So 40% Castellan, 30% Tintoreries, and 30% the ubiquitous Touriga Nacional. This is a wine that Leona and I tried a couple of weeks ago, and thought it was well worth an outing in our wine club. So yeah, it's very fruity, dark purple color when you hold it up to the light. Quite fruity on the nose as well.
Have you had 1 or 2 of these already tonight, Doc?
No. I'm just finding the transition from resident to wine connoisseur a bit disconcerting.
It's a bit clunky for us all, isn't it? But yeah. I'm loving this. I need to ask you something because I think I've got the right one. So we're all on the same sort of page here. You know, the illustrated, well, not the illustration, the graphic that we gave had a grey label, didn't it? And then I've got a white label here. I think I've got a. There we go. Somebody wants my phone for the evidence. So I've got the white label, and then when I couldn't find it tonight, not tonight, I couldn't find it for tonight. I came across this one as well, which is the same producer, isn't it? So there's a Cavallo Bravo as well.
It is. So I'll just go back to their page. So there is the. Another
one.
There are many. So there is the Cavallo Bravo Premium Red, the Cavallo Bravo Reserva Red, the Standard Cavallo Bravo, the Cavallo Bravo Branco. Then there's the Cavallo Negro Vineyards Red, which is what we have tonight. The Cavalo Negro Reserva Red, and the standard Cavalo Negro, which is the white label that I think you got, and then again Cavalo Negro Branco. So the one which we chose is the Vinhas Bellas, which is the one with the grey label. So I might be the only one drinking that tonight by the sound of it.
Oh no, you're not. Hold on, look, because we've got it there in Alvazra tonight. That's the right one, isn't it?
Well done, Gary. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
So the distinction is between the grey and the white labels. It's the Vinha Velhas distinction.
Old vines, yeah. Right. But apart from that, I think all of the Cavallo, or certainly all the Cavallo Negro, they're all from the Tejas. The horses are all from the Tejas.
Tempting to call the white one the Vino Bronco, then, really.
Very good.
Very good. Yes. Tejo Targush. What's that all about, Doc? You'd know the answer to that.
Actually, I don't. It's probably, I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, it seems to be interchangeable. Targush River, Tejo River. Am I right? Does anyone else know the answer to that mystery?
I think the one is the old name for it, and the Tejo is now the newer name, more modern name for it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Tejas was the Romans, wasn't it? And I suspect Tejo is more likely to be pre-Roman Galician or something similar.
It's probably for old farts who still say Rhodesia, isn't it? The people who say Rhodesia might still say Targush rather than Zimbabwe and Tejo.
Yeah.
It was wasn't it Angela Rippon who used to say Rhodesia?
Probably.
I think it was Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, yes, and she had a certain way of pronouncing all these various people's names, didn't she? It'd be quite interesting to have her pronouncing wine names from Portugal, actually.
We do need some help with that, let's face it. Paul Williams, Benoit Toros, only just back home, so chilling in your company with a cold beer. That's as good as anything. And we should say, don't worry too much if you haven't got the exact right wine, because none of us have worried too much about that, clearly. Bring what you've got. Bring what you've got and enjoy it and tell us about it. And even your tasting notes on your beer tonight, Paul, hits the spot, whatever you want to say, let us know. I'm with Herdad or Herdaj or Hejaj de Frejio from the Alentejo, and there's something in the way on my screen. Must try to find your wine if it's got a link to horses. Yes, absolutely. There is that great link that Doc was talking about. Hola, from the bleachers. Just had our first sip of Chateau Marsh. What a corker. That's a single estate special from Fundao there, Benoit from JA Mag. First time commenter, discovered you last month, discovered this channel last month. Muito obrigado for your insights. It's a pleasure. Are you drinking anything tonight, J.A. Mag? Lovely to have your company. Look, our friend Ree Goff Web, good evening, y'all. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I think we are, aren't we? And a mysterious Benoit. Which Facebook user would that be? Neil, loved your joke, Doug. Made me chuckle. Keep them coming, Doug. Facebook user also or a different one says Benoit, guys. Good to see you.
First time anybody's enjoyed one of my jokes since 1970.
See, we even enjoyed that. I think Tejo Targush is a language matter. So it's the same thing but different name. And look at that, the 5 biceps salute from somebody there. Targush in English, Tejo in Portuguese, Spanish. There it is. Yeah, it is the old farts, isn't it? Targush. I remember the time when I was sailing down the Targush. Terribly drunk.
My boat sank.
We'd say Tagus, wouldn't we? Tagus.
Targus would be Latin, not English.
So there you go. Sorry, Doc, back to you.
Sorry, I'm just harking back to my my classics days. My mother was a Latin teacher, you see. So there we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hey.
let's get into the wine, which is why we're here. So yeah, this is a very nice red. We had it a couple of weeks ago, and although it's fairly high alcohol content, it is exceptionally easy drinking.
I
haven't got any.
Oh, sorry.
Is our invitation to join you, Doc?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. And we've got the legend with us. Tiago's here. Tiago Zeferino, everybody, is with us. Very nice. Raising a glass to you, sir.
I'm going to have a fundamental question here, Doc. Of course, I haven't managed to source this, but I'm tempted to ask how much was that bottle of wine?
Now I can tell you, it's on my phone. I think it was about €6 or something.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I've got on my notes. We've had difficulty getting the wines that others have chosen. I think at the moment because there's so little mobility generally, and with good transport and everything else, and a lot of garrafieras are closed and have been, since whenever. I think there we go. Oh no, it was oh goodness, it was originally €10.
Well, okay.
It was reduced to $3.49.
Bargain.
Yeah, absolutely. But we found a lovely, very large, and it looks like a fantastic Garrafira yesterday, which is still closed, but obviously will be open hopefully next week, maybe the week after. And they've got ports dating back to 1901 on the shelves. So lots of other wines as well. So hopefully we won't have difficulty sourcing things, and maybe we'll be able to send some good stuff your way.
I had a look around Wales for a Garrafira, but I found Gareth Davis, Gareth Jones, Gareth Edwards, but I couldn't find Garrafira anywhere.
You're on the fork tonight, Doug.
You really are, Doug. Amazing. And I love a bit of Portuguese-Welsh hybrid humour. You're only going to get that here, aren't you, really? Now, I've got to tell you, I went up to the checkout. The third supermarket I went to, glad to find my Cavalo Negro, albeit the white label. And I had little Minnie with me, my 5-year-old daughter, and I got her a like some kind of popping candy dipping lollipop, which turns out it was only 45 cents. So I was thinking, okay, the wine's $3.99, so that's a pretty good bargain. $3.99, and the lollipop for 45. So both of us are happy. She's got popping candy. I've got a bottle of red wine. I go to the checkout and I'm asked for €2.64. There was a further markdown on it. This one is €2.19 in Pingadillo.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had wine for that much money in Britain, in the UK generally, you'd be pouring it into your car radiator, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
You'd be wearing it, splashing it on.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fact that you get so much lovely wines there, and it's so good value. It's just, I just can't get my head around it.
Yeah. Well, there are some lovely surprises with this winemaker. Have you looked into this, Doc? The Parash winemaker, because I've had another connection with this last week, and as I said earlier on, I'm going to put the wines on the screen for you. But there is so much cheap wine about at the moment. All the supermarkets seem to be doing extra markdowns. Doug, you were suggesting it might be because they haven't got the hospitality trade, so there is a bit of I mean, even though loads of people have been drinking at home, presumably, they're not shifting the amount of wine, and that's coming down through the supermarkets now into these incredible markdowns, like the one I got today, $2.19.
If you think about it, just think of a place like maybe Lagouche alone. How many restaurants there are in Lagouche, and how many bottles of wine each one of those places would be selling on a daily basis, let alone a weekly basis. It's going to have to be a sort of wine lake developing somewhere, isn't there?
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, but it's already bottled and ready to go, isn't it, for distribution?
Yeah,
but it has to be
absolutely,
there with the customers. So look at this. This is what they do at Paras, which I've discovered. Never knew about them. Thanks for the introduction, Doc. But there's a Dharma wine, which is interesting. It's a sort of Buddhistic angle on that. Then there's the Evidencia. We can drink your attachments away, can't you? Not give a toss about anything after a bottle of that. There's the Evidencia. So we've got 4 types of Evidencia. They seem to do, the full sets, don't they, of each of them? The premium Cavalo Bravo, the Reserva Cavalo Bravo, then the white one, like you say, then the basic one, and then the same thing happens, doesn't it, with the Cavalo Negro here, of the one you've got, the grey label, then you've got the Reserva Red, the one that I've got. Sorry, the Reserva, and then the white label, then the white. Then they do a look. There's 5 more pages of wines that they. This is a pretty significant producer, I think, in the just outside Lisboa, Tejo region. Quite incredible. And then they've got this signature. You'll see. This is what you might remember about it. Is their what is this called? Like tiger bread. If I take that off the screen, you'll see this better. Look at tiger print cork.
Oh yeah.
Or leopard print, sorry.
That's lovely. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so that's... And another one they do, which I started drinking last week, is this. You'll have seen this, right? That's in Lidl from Tejo.
Yeah.
So they make that as well. The Paras, P-A-R-R-A-S, a prolific producer, I think, from that region. So quite extraordinary.
I believe that is Garbo's everyday wine, right? The Mula Velha.
Yes, it's one of my stock wines and one of the go-tos. Cheap, very good quality, nice drink.
Oh, you guys like Romanian, don't you?
Yeah, that was a strange one. The Mula Velha basic one, the lower price one, is better, I think, than the Reserva. It's streets ahead of it, which is a bit strange. But hey ho, that's just personal taste, I think.
Yeah.
But when I drank it last week, I was really, and I don't know which one it was. I think it might have been the Reserva that I had. It had a really peculiar taste, which grew on me. But it was like a caramel, or toffee taste to it, which I wasn't used to. With most of the wines we have, there's a basic sort of signature to them with it that comes from Tarica, I think. But yeah, it was nice to try the Mula Velha and then come full circle with it. So I bought another bottle.
That's one of the nice things about drinking Portuguese wine. Full stop. There's such a huge variety of it from all over the country. Every time you pick up a bottle, it's going to be a surprise, isn't it? Each one has its own character. So yeah.
Yep, and we're learning about that wine 36, the Cavalo Negro tonight, 2019, and the particular one that we were meant to be having was the Vinha Velhas, the old vines. So let's go round. Let's talk a bit more about each of the wines we've got, because we have got a bit of a spread again tonight. Andy, tell us about your impressions of that this evening. And I see you're pairing it already with something.
My standard cheese and crackers, actually. That's always the best thing with red wine, I find.
I agree.
Which cheese have you got?
An unpronounceable Portuguese cheese.
That could be quite a number.
It's not too strong. It's a fairly, I suppose, semi-medium, semi-soft.
And how hard is it?
It's fairly soft. It's not one of the ones that you need Excalibur to cut.
I'm just looking at Gary's face. Okay, so a semi, we could say, among cheeses. So tell me about the wine then, as it's working. Oh, sorry, I'll get a lot of shaking. I know I've gone too far when the heads are bowed and shaking like that.
It's forest fruits, sort of dark fruit kind of flavour.
Strong flavour.
It's the tannins are not too much, not very harsh. It's quite soft, and Gary's decanted his, so it's probably positively eider down because it's not harsh even when it's not been decanted. But yeah, I like it.
Excellent. That's good enough for me, Doc. Penny, what have you got there? If you could hold it up to the screen for us.
Of those six million choices that you had from Andy's wine, I got one from Tejo, which is a very similar grape, but it does have a horse on it. Does that count?
Yeah, that's
it's pretty similar, though. It is a 2017 vintage, which apparently is the better of the vintages so far on this one. But
I say,
but it's actually really nice. It's very smooth. Not at all. There's very little evidence of much tannin in it, which I like, because I quite like a nice light wine. It's nice and dry. It is fruity, but I can't actually, when you were describing yours, Andy, I can't quite put my finger on what the taste is here. I actually can't identify it, but other than it's very smooth, it's very, very pleasant, very dry, nice.
Excellent.
I'm somebody else to taste it to tell me what it is, but I'm not picking it up.
And that's something we've really discovered here, isn't it? It's so nice to have a few people trying the same wine, obviously, on a wine tasting, rather than everyone having their own one. Not that that's not still fun, but it does really help to get a little bit of an echo off somebody else. So you're enjoying that. Let's go to Duro Doug, who I think maybe Victoria might be confusing Andy and Doug tonight. I see Andy pairing his wine with a tie. Is he okay swallowing? I think that's probably. I think that's aimed at you, actually, Doug. Do you feel in any way constricted?
No, I'm okay with that. I mean, it's I've got a very spacious collar. They do. My wife fits me out like she does the cat. She tries to get minimum 2 fingers down there. So otherwise the collar doesn't go off. On.
All right, we'll stay away from the kipper tie jokes, because we don't want to get the Brummies excited. So your wine then, Doug. Tell us about it. Oh, you're on the Animus, aren't you, tonight?
Well, it's this boy. Let's have a look at you. Where are we? So let's get that so you can try and maybe pick up. Can you see the writing on there?
Yeah, red blend. You're on the blend. Yeah,
it's on the blend. I mean, it doesn't even say from what part of the country the grapes have been grown. This is just Produto de Portugal, so it could be anywhere. So it's just all smashed together, stuck in a bottle, and it tastes a little bit like Ribena. So there you go.
But you're happy with it by the sound of it.
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's smooth enough. It's not harsh or dry. Yeah, good.
Excellent. Okay, let's go to Alvazra. Let's open first of all. Gary and Linda, you've got the actual wine that we were asked to get. So top marks for you on that front. What are your impressions?
Well, the nose, you got the now famous oak, bit of vanilla, something slightly herby. I'm not quite sure what it is. Rosemary, thyme, possibly. And when I tasted it, I could taste the caramel. The caramel definitely is in there. So it's the big dark fruits as normal. A little bit of cherry going on in there as well. And whatever that herb is I can taste that as well. So quite a bit going on there. It's kind of the sort of wine that I like to be kicking about with. How about you?
When I first tasted it, when we first opened the bottle, I wasn't quite sure whether I was going to like it, because I felt it was a bit peppery, but the longer it's been open, the smoother the flavour, and I actually quite like it now. It's not too heavy, and it is quite intense in the fruits, but I don't know what it is. Cherries, maybe.
I thought it was cherry, but I'm not so sure now.
Yeah.
It's quite black orangey, quite quite dark.
Like my Ribena one.
Could be. A relative of your Ribena.
And the herb, Gary, is that rosemary? Like one of those kind of oily.
Possibly. I'm trying to. It could even possibly be something eucalyptusy or something like that, but definitely herby, sort of slightly sharp, slightly astringent.
Basically, we've got Ribena and Victory V's in a bottle. Brilliant.
That's it. With a little dollop of Vic in there as well, I think.
Actually, the sharpness that we had in the beginning could have been from the herb.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's calmed down a bit,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to Coimbra now. Coimbra's been very quiet this evening.
Haven't they?
One Coimbra.
Yeah, this wine sucks.
Cheers, Frank.
Yeah.
We haven't seen you the pink yet, by the way.
We have the Cavalo Bravo Reserva, and it has the same grapes. It's a 2019. I think it's probably more entry-level wine, more than the one you're having. And it's like...
Just say it.
It's
It's a horrible wine.
no, it's not bad, but it's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, everything that it says in the back of the label, wild aromas, flavors of wild berries, some smoke, hints of black chocolate, lying, none of that. It's just got quite a bit of Ribena wild berry action going.
Yeah, even on the nose, it's quite fruity, but it's not nothing special.
Yeah, don't buy this one. It's not a good one.
Bombshell. They were quiet, and now the fireworks have started in Coimbra tonight. Wow. I'm not sure quite what to say or do. Obviously, what you know what I normally do when I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I go to the comments. So let's see what Peter Bleach has to say. She has a kick to her, but she goes down smoothly. That is the Chateau Marsh this evening. Bit of a fruity number, like Ms. Benson. Clearly, like throwing out little aspersions at other people in the comments. Obviously, it's got there in Fundao tonight. Maybe a little early, says Pete. But what is the worst thing each of you have ever done after too many glasses? Who I say. Okay, so you may or may not want to respond to that. If Victoria did mean Doug and not Andy. And look at this, everybody. This is a character from what? I don't know, Lord of the Rings or you know, a genie king of enchanted wellspring. We salute you. Obviously, what else are we supposed to do? And it's a bonoit to us all from Genie King of the Enchanted Wellspring. And lol, just in from Ree. Lol, love how Frank sums it up in 2 words. Wasn't it 3? This wine sucks, or it sucks. I can't remember what he said.
It sucks.
It sucks. 2 words. You're absolutely right, Ree. Loving the hat, Rachel, from Neil reminds me of a 40s war movie with you playing the part of a French resistance spy. Hello.
Listen carefully, I will say this only once.
Show me your peppers. My peppers.
Hair flick.
Peppers. It'd be great. If you could get a couple of capsicums out now, that would be a perfect punchline. What kind of wine is for today's evenings for tastings? Okay, so we're in the Tejo to answer your question, Navendu there. Yeah, we are in the Tejo, which is the wine region south of I'm right in saying this, south of Lisboa, right?
Well, kind of actually more east, because the Tejo goes from Lisbon and it runs up northeast, and the valley does the same, obviously, because otherwise it wouldn't be a valley.
We've got some help.
Yeah.
I can't read it, but
You've laminated the wine map of Portugal. That's awesome, Penny.
yes, my husband did it for me.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Thank you.
So I knew what I was talking about, or trying to.
Good.
I can't, it's around here somewhere. Sorry.
No,
Down a bit, down a bit.
The problem is I can't read it without the bins on.
We get the gist, though, and that's right, because you're going to.
the yellow
There
part.
it is. That's there.
Yeah. If you go to the south, you're going to be in the Stubble, aren't you? And Ribatejo, and this is more the Tejo. Is it single seepage or mixed? We are talking about a blend of wines, aren't we? On this occasion. as well. Offended to answer your question there. What have I done now? Oh, there we go.
Don't know what that means.
Right. And Jeannie King of Enchanted Wellspring. I have to refer to you in your full title each time now. The only red I have is Don't Laugh Too Hard, a 2016 Lodi Zinfandel Old Wines, California. I love that map as well, by the way. Why would we laugh at that, folks? Why would we laugh at a Zinfandel Old Wines?
Is it a little?
I guess we don't laugh at little, do we here? No, we don't laugh at little here. So let me just give you a bit more on a background on the producer here, because I've just delved into their website, Our Life, Your Wine, the marketing department. 10 out of 10 for that. And there is the, I guess, the current CEO and leader.
If you the same bloke that was on last week.
Looks happy though.
He gets around.
He gets the bad, that one.
That's because, okay, that's because I'm going to do a little thing with all of you now. You're going to pretend to be the owner of a vineyard, and I'm going to zoom in on each of you for the PR picture of like that. Okay, so we'll go to Penny first, and I'm going to do some screenshots, I think, as well. So this is the Albertella Vineyard, and this all right. I've got that's a really good. That's the bar that everybody has to meet now.
Not very high.
And you've got that was excellent. But you've got to give me a chance to post these to Facebook. No, I don't mean to Facebook. Well, maybe Facebook ultimately, but I just need to. Each time I take a screenshot, I've got to post it somewhere before I can do the next one. So get ready, Doc, to do yours if you need whatever, a quick bit of hair and makeup or whatever. I'm going to be just capturing these and then recording them. I'm nearly there, Doc. How's he doing there? Is he voguing already? So there we've got. That's it. I've immortalized Penny's one. Let's go in for the Doc's press shot of him as a vineyard owner. Okay, when you're ready, Doc, or were you ready?
Thank you, Carl.
All right. Sorry. Okay, so there's Doc's. All of these will be available. If we don't get a naked calendar, we will at least have this. So here we go. It's both of them for this one. That's perfect. Okay.
I like that. Yep.
That's going to help, isn't it? That's going to help. But this is the worst possible time for Facebook to freeze up, because I've got to deposit that somewhere. So I'll probably come back doing those. Sterling effort so far, Top, Penny and Gary and Linda. Should we start with a bit of scoring before we come back to those PR shots? I think maybe we'll go to. Should we start with Rachel and Frank and work upwards?
That's higher than I thought.
You're going to have to go to your comments again very quick, I reckon, Carl.
Totally
orcs. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that. I was trying
to... question: are you hoping for a vineyard visit to this vineyard?
I think that's out of the
You've
question.
Just blown that, Rachel and Frank.
Okay, so I'm going to be nice. 3.
3 and Frank is sounding especially uncompromising this evening.
Yeah, no, this was not going to happen. I'm very disappointed. I left it open uncorked for a while, and then I'm in my class stirring this stupid thing, and it won't air, and it just tastes like Ribena now. So since it sucks so bad, it's going to be 2.
Scathing. So a 2 and a 3 from Coimbra.
Can I ask a question? You had the back label, didn't you, Rachel and Frank? So what's different about yours to the one that Gary and Linda and Andy have got?
They've got the reserve.
Oh, that's the better one, right? There's no difference in grapes.
Same grape.
It's same grape.
Yeah.
It's Torrigo Nacional, Tinta Roriz, and Castellón.
And what year is yours?
2019.
2019.
Actually, the grapes are different.
Yes, I think they are.
Apparently, in car manufacturing terms, this wine was probably done on a Monday or a Friday.
Wowzers. If you had a bad day, Frank.
No,
It's really
it's the wine that's bad.
It's the wine that's bad.
Maybe they have a tap, and on a Monday night they turn it over, and then on a Thursday night they turn it back, and one goes into yours and one goes into a.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, you might have a Duff bottle there, mightn't you? But we haven't got a comparison with anyone else in the room. So there you go, a two and a three on that particular variant of the Cavalo Negro. Going to Lodi, not Lidl. Lodi is in California. Okay.
Yeah, could be the opposite way you're going to
So uneducated now. Ken's here as Ken. No, just finished with work and poured myself a glass of Portuguese red. Good man, Ken. That's the idea. Which particular one, though? And more from the mystery of Jeannie King of the Enchanted Wellspring. Excalibur! Okay, name is Zinfomaniac. That's why we should be laughing. In my defense, it was given to me. Well, that's not a defense, is it? If somebody thinks to give you a bottle of wine called Zinfomaniac, how's that in your defense? That sounds like an all-out attack to me. Just Jeannie. Let us know what it tastes like. What should a bottle of Zinfomaniac taste like, I wonder? It was nobody needs to answer that. I'll leave that just hanging there rhetorically. It was Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the library. Yeah, absolutely. It's a crime scene from Frank's point of view. Couldn't find your wine, Doc. However, opened a single grape Touriga Nacional from Vidiguera. That's not a bad shout, Neil. Nice one. Because I mean, it is tricky. Out in the plains of the Alentejo there, getting to a Garrafera or a supermarket even takes him 3 hours to get to a supermarket, I think. But only kidding. Neil will be, check this out, everybody. Neil will be promoting the Alentejo in a three-man in the ring fight next Thursday night. That's our webinar next Thursday. It's Alentejo versus Lisbon and Tagus, or Tejo versus the North. And it's going to be awesome. And Neil is going to be in there. Fighting it out for the Alentejo, and especially this claim that there's no culture in the Alentejo. I'm just getting him worked up. Penny, Miss Scarlet with the corkscrew in the boudoir. I've said it before. I say it again. I'd watch that. Okay, we can go back to the PR shots. No, we're still marking, aren't we? So we need you to rate your animush, Duro Doug.
It's a question. We've got to find some out.
I just wanted to check the grapes that were in Frank and Rachel's bottle, because this bottle is Touriga Nacional, Alicante Boucher, and Aragonés. And I thought that Frank said something different.
Yeah, it's Touriga Nacional, Tinta Roriz, and Castellón.
So they're not the same grapes.
Not the same wine, then, is it?
Not the same grapes.
Okay, so I misunderstood that.
Sorry, Doug. Back to you.
No, you're all right. Carry on. That's what it's all about. No, I think the last one, the Duro Animush, which we did last week, I rated that around about 4.5, I think, didn't I? So this one obviously is the cheaper, a cheaper version of their collection of wines, and it's about £1 cheaper than the other one, and it's not a bad wine. It's not an unpleasant wine, but I have to give this about 3.75. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's perfectly drinkable. It's nice. As always, I need to go to Serpa and buy a block of cheese to go with it, because and then it'd probably be back up to about a 4. But I love it when you guys say, oh, we've had this open for a while now. We've had several glasses of it. It seems to be getting better with every slurp. I reckon that's the beer goggles in the wine world.
Yeah, because I mean, how can you know? How can you know if the wine's improving or if your perception is changing after 2 or 3 glasses? But I guess that's how it rolls with this.
This one's definitely better than when I first opened it. There's no question about that.
Okay, Neil saying not keen on Touriga Nacional as a single grape. It needs to be blended, in my opinion. Now, I would have agreed with you until 2 or 3 weeks ago, when I had that Touriga Nua, the Touriga Naked, and it's not even aged. I think they treat it quite harshly, and it was a beautiful bottle of wine. It was Touriga single grape, I'm sure, the Touriga Nua or Touriga da Nua, and it was really, really special, Neil. So it may well be the exception that proves the rule, I have to say. Genie King of the Enchanted Wellspring. The second glass is nice. Actually, it's pronounced Lodi. I'm learning so much and making so many mistakes tonight. The Zinfomania that's being drunk there. Both Lita and I love our dry whites, but struggle with reds, as prefer the lighter ones like Gamay, and cannot locate any Portuguese similar to that. Probably the extra heat here. That's interesting comment there, Paul. So maybe that's a little bit of a tip or a steer for some of us here to find a light red, if that's possible in Portugal. Maybe it's not.
I think the ones from Dão are usually a little bit lighter.
Okay, so there's a tip. There's a tip to go to the Dow. All right, fantastic.
Lodi would be a great name. Sorry, Penny, you carry on.
I could say this one's quite light because I don't like very heavy reds either. This one, to me, I can drink this without food and I'm quite happy, which with very, very heavy reds, I need to eat something with it. So this is good from that point of view.
Yep. And Neil agrees, the Dow for the lighter wines, amazing. So what is it about the terroir and the climate of the Dow that would bring that about, or the soil, or maybe it's a combination of all of those? Okay, so what have we had in scoring so far? We've had 2 and 3 from Rachel and Frank, respectively. Penny, you scored, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you haven't yet?
No, not yet.
For a 375. Is that all we've done so far?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's move round to Alvazra then for a scoring on the actual wine in question tonight, to see if there can be any sense of redemption at all from this rather, I don't know, how do we call it? Dramatic evening.
I was worried because we did the first sip out the bottle test, that it was going to be an absolute rotter. But putting it in the decanter and leaving it, it's getting better by the minute. It's rounded, it's fruity, it's got a nice level of oak. The tannin's about right.
Quite spicy.
It isn't a particularly long taste, but it's quite a very pleasant taste. It's a very sort of good sociable wine. So, from my point of view, I think it's worth a good solid 4.
Yeah, I'd agree with a 4.
Okay,
4 from me too.
You know what we ask you though, Linda, always in this situation: how many glasses?
Well, hang on, it's not quite because there's only a third of the bottle left, so we've had big glasses. So
this is my second big glass.
So you're probably up to 3 really on your normal
Yeah.
levels.
All right,
That's
so
impressive.
pretty good reception, I think, in Alvazra tonight. Excellent. Okay.
Valhalla.
The wine from Valhalla is in Rachel and Frank's bottle.
You can see on Frank's face. Penny, please. Rachel,
Frank looks like he's sat in something wet.
That's probably the rest of the wine, actually, Gary, there.
Sorry, do you want me to be serious here, Carl?
Yes, I do. Yeah, sorry about everybody else.
I have an issue in that I can never remember what I've scored anything else before anyway. But
yeah,
I
you're in
think
good
for this one, it's really pleasant. It's a really pleasant drink. I'm enjoying it. I'd probably I'd agree with Gary on this and go for a 4.
Okay, can we see it one more time? Because this is, I'd recommend it as well. I enjoyed it. I bought it.
It's a cooperative of some sort as well.
Yeah,
and it's got a horse.
And it's
both good reasons.
But it is Tejo, right? It's not. It is Dow.
Tejo, yeah.
Yeah, it's not Dow as the name might suggest. Okay, so that's interesting.
It is there.
Yeah, and for me, I think I've got an absolute bargain with that in Lidl. It's part of Lidl's markdown. All the supermarkets seem to be clearing the wines out, and that one I think was a €2 or €3 wine in Lidl. Quite amazing, and I put my name to that as well and agree with you. Okay, so we've only got the dock left to score his own wine here under intense pressure. But before you do that, I've opened the other one that I found. I didn't know. I only got this because it had a horse on the label, because I thought I couldn't get the one in question. And then the one that I thought was the one in question isn't the one anyway. And this thing is confusing. This Cavalo Negro thing for me is confusing. And it takes us into the territory of the big producer again. And you know how it might be that changes things a little bit. You know, you haven't got a cozy, cuddly relationship with a small producer. You've got a winemaker that means business. I mean, really, this is a big producer in it, knocking out a lot of wines, making a lot of money, and it's marketing led. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, but it's different. That's the point I'm making. It's different to the smaller boutique-y, smaller producer thing where I think we've discovered, haven't we? You get a different kind of relationship and psychology about it. You know, the stories you can tell yourself about a small producer and looking at their little vineyard where you can stay in a little camper van or an old barrel or something is very different to the sort of production facility that I imagine this is. And I think they've got a huge production facility in Alcobaça. So they're shipping wines all over the place and grapes and stuff. But to cut a long story short, I would put it where you have it, Doc. You know, to me, this is perfectly good for munching some crackers and cheese and having a full flavored red wine. Nothing embarrassing about it. You know, I'm not appalled as some are this evening, but I you know, but then I'm not blown away either. You know, has to be said. So it's a 4 from me. You know, 3.8, 3.94. Great. Because you know how I like to make it an experience as well. I don't think I'd have this put aside for somebody coming to Portugal, unless, of course, this is probably what their wine that I would put forward. And if I could find the one that's got the caramelly taste, I would say, you know, give this a go. Can you taste and smell the toffee in that?
Come on, can I just see that bottle again, mate? Can you put the bottle up again?
Yeah.
I can tell. Just get it close to the camera because turn it so I can see the label. Up a bit. And that's better. Up a bit. But that's slightly different, isn't it?
It kicks like a mule. But you know, those little
old mule, isn't it? Old mule.
And those stickers always help me with my process. Yeah. So you know, I'm so glad we went there to have a look at Parash and find out more about them. I mean, they're on this same level, aren't they, as Bacaloa? I can't remember the names of the other big producers, but they're in that Aliança. They're in the house of the big Portuguese wines here. That's what we're talking about, and that's what I've discovered in a single day. Just piecing it all together, having one of their wines from last week, finding 2 that look similar tonight. Then there's 2 more that we discover and it's actually quite confusing, but not seriously for me. Not the end of the world. Happy to have this an everyday drinkable wine with some cheese and biscuits, as it sounds like you do, Doc.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we weren't looking for anything to go for dinner parties. We like our red wine on a daily basis, so that's what we generally buy. But yeah, we're very happy with this. I agree with Gary on everything he was saying, actually, to be honest. But given it's our wine, and I'm kind of torn between a 4 and a 4.25. I'm going to give it a 4.25. But next time, and we're going to test our wine for next time. Tomorrow, we have 2 different wines from Leiria. So, and obviously from Leiria, it's not a big wine producing area. That'll be very boutique. But for this one, we're very happy with it. You know, we'd have it for opening every day. Definitely 4.25.
Fantastic. Leona, are you there off camera?
4.5.
4.5. Leona.
Yes, Leona says 4.5. So the bigger fan in the household of this one.
I have a question for you guys. Based on all of these wine shows that we've done, and now we kind of understand wines, how would you rate the different regions from like your number 1 to all the way down? Because I know I found the region that I like the least. What is your number 1 all the way from number 1 to like number 4 or number 5? How would you guys go?
Very good question, Frank.
Difficult
Well,
question.
I'm gonna wimp out on this one, having not been a member of the club for very long. So you guys carry on. I'll tell you in 6 months.
Nice one, Doc. I like that one.
I have my top three, for sure, no doubt. It's Alentejo, Douro Superior, and Trás-os-Montes. I think it's been my favorite up to now. And my least favorite, I think, was the Dão, because I like more full-bodied wine, and the Dão wines are a little bit more light. But we got a recommendation for a Dão wine that we are going to try that one tomorrow. And if it's good, we'll have it next time.
For me, it would be Alentejo, Douro Superior, then move to Stubble. Then it would be, I think after that, it would be Trás-os-Montes, then it would be Lisboa, and then it would be Tejo, I guess, for now. But actually, no, Down would be above Tejo as well. Tejo is like my least favorite.
Clearly. Okay, all right. Anybody else care to comment on that? I'm sure Gary and Linda, you'd rate your regions, right?
You know, I'm a big Stubble fan of wine,
Yeah.
so that's got to come top of my list. Believe it or not, my own personal opinion, the bottom of my list, because it's only a personal choice, is Douros. They're just a bit too French for my liking. So I know that's going to be an unpopular choice for bottom rung, but probably next one up from the bottom would probably be Dow. I haven't really had enough Trás-os-Montes wine to say to give it a mark. Middle of the road, Tejo. Probably second place, Alentejo. To be honest, that's kind of a rough guide.
Hello, I told us from Mrs. M. She's here to take a drink from one of my 3 open bottles here. I've got 3.
Hello, Mrs. M.
Hi, Louise.
Hi.
No swearing, love, because we're still live on air, all right? You know what you like. Okay, so to take your pick, I've got 3 brave horses.
How can we put 3 bottles tonight?
Because it's a tasting thing. You know me. I'm very moderate, but I like to have a sort of comprehensive spread.
I've got a comprehensive spread.
If I may add my regional, that's such a good question, Frank. I'm loving that.
Yeah.
What immediately came to mind?
Ciao.
Oh, okay.
Oh, short and sweet there.
Yeah. She's not hanging around tonight, is she?
Yeah.
I have to say, and this might be Neil's influence, but Alentejo came to mind first. The most outstanding wines that have stayed in my memory have been Alentejo, and the one I mentioned now, the Touriga. I looked it up. The Touriga Vainua, the Touriga goes naked, is an Alentejano wine, and they've done this incredible experiment. What do they say? Partial carbonic maceration, a quick 3-month élevage in stainless steel, no aging, and it was delightful. So that's my first region. That and others that we've had. Alentejo first. Then I'd go to the Douro for the spread, the comprehensive nature of excellent wines in the Douro, and then out of loyalty, Bairrada, because I've had a little bit of literally a taste of the locality. So off the top of my head, those are my top 3 there. Gary?
Forgot about Bairrada. Like Bairrada. So that'd probably be number 3. Just going back to something that Paul said about lighter wines. If you have the Aguapay, which is the very young wine, the very not quite mature wine, that's nice. That's quite light, and sometimes even very, very slightly fizzy. So maybe give that a try. If a little tip for Paul, try somebody who does Aguapay.
And that's
weirdly, I'm with you. Mine's definitely the Alentejo as the favourite wines of the Alentejano. But they're particularly like wines from the region of Reguengos.
Yeah.
They do some beautiful wines in that region. I mean, so good. They even have a sort of big cooperative wine producer there. I think it's Carmim, they call
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
We have had one. Neil's choice. It was Patria by Carmen.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah.
It was a good
Wines
one.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, the actual facility itself is not terribly far from the center of the town of Reguengos de Montserrat. And it's a big modern facility. But don't forget, of course, that there are plenty of smaller producers, your more artisan producers dotted around as well. So when you actually go into a restaurant or a garofria in Montserrat, you get a great choice of really beautiful wines.
Excellent. Thanks, Doug. Anna's saying, I'd like to know which Cavalo label wins of this set. I think it is the yeah, it's that one, isn't it? For sure.
It is that.
Yeah, I think so. The one that was actually chosen with the silvery sort of label there. So that's the one, Anna. I work for the International Equestrian Federation. So have you been to Golgal? Is it called Golgal? That fantastic equestrian town in near where you live, Doc. It's the most beautiful town and the capital of the equestrian capital of Portugal for sure. Amazing place. The Alentejo 2018 Freixo is really good too. Defo a 4+. So you've enjoyed that tonight. Sintra, although in New England, United States, say they love us. They love you too. Thank you. And Neil, obviously, going with Alentejo to answer your question, Frank. Dura second. So that's, I think that's the same as me, isn't it? But he's got the Bairrada, Tejo, and Dow as a third there. Kent, drinking Cabrige 2017. Now, there's another big producer that sends it all over the world. That's a Dow. Finally was able to source a few bottles of Portuguese wines for your Thursday club. So glad you were able to do that. I hope you're enjoying drinking with us, Ken. How would you rate it, that Cabrige? Because we have drunk a Cabrige Red, haven't we? And I think that was around the 4 kind of mark as well. It wasn't blow away, but it was certainly very enjoyable. Harsh, Frank, from Victoria.
Victoria.
Unrepentant as well. Frank, find a wine, Templarios, Tejo wine, excellent wine, and I know you would love it. So now he's challenging you on your Tejo prejudice there. Templarios, very interesting. Templarios.
We didn't like that one.
We had one of these, a rose, and he went down the sink.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was awful.
Further controversy tonight. Ree's off, got to run, storming and thundering here, and power keeps going out. Doggies are scared, so got to go cuddle them. Oh, see you later, Ree.
No.
Cheers, Gary. Probably non-labeled local wines might be the way to go. Probably would not get on the show, though. That's true. So, yeah, I was going to ask.
Getting somebody today, go have one there. They'll have some overpay.
And that's like the country wine. You're not necessarily going to find that in the supermarkets, are you?
I don't think I've ever seen a commercial. I mean, it might be wrong. I haven't seen a commercial version of it, but it's like very young wine, and it's not very alcoholic. So it's nice, refreshing sort of wine, and sort of thing if you don't want to get absolutely smashed out of your face by lunchtime. So
an afternoon wine, I think I call that one, isn't it?
We're not interested then. So red, not rosé. Neil is keen to point out, being very firm there from the Alentejo.
I'll try it, Neil. I'll try. We do sell it in the supermarket. I'll give it another go.
Templarios, there you go. See y'all tomorrow, says Ree for the Man Cave. Interesting topic tomorrow night. We will be talking as men about what we can do to better support, help, nurture our sisters, our mothers, our daughters. What a terrible end to International Women's Week, I think, or it was a week after when that poor woman was murdered by a serving cop in the UK, brought a terrible end to the week, and the vigil was just roughed up as well by the police. We need to talk about that, don't we, as men of a certain age and of a certain mindset. So that'll be our discussion tomorrow night. Thanks, says Anna Milne. Thanks. I have not, but I heard it's a fabulous. So she's not been to Golgal, but heard it's a fabulous party. Beautiful little town, really, really lovely. Recommend it, Anna. Maybe that's another one of our meetups for the wine club there. Likely, all these meetups we're threatening to have. Have we got about a year's worth of weekend meetups now? It's probably about that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Easily, I would say.
Okay, it's a plan. likely to be in old plastic water bottles. Yeah, be careful. It's not the bacalhau juice that's being used to control the fruit flies, and make sure it is an actual country wine that's in there. Just give it a little sniff before you taste it. Time to pick up some pizza. See you in the man cave, says Eric J. So we'll be joining us tomorrow night. So there we go. That's been the Cavalo. Where is it now? 3 bottles open here. What a lush. I've never done this before. Cavalo Negro 2019. It's been quite an evening. We may or we may not wish to conclude with Peter Bleach's little challenge there. What's the worst or best thing you've done after a few too many glasses of wine? Has anyone been thinking about that quietly and thinking, should I tell this story or not? Doc is ready with one.
Okay, so
Leona said, what did Leona just say?
I've got no shame.
Let's find out.
This was probably 1985, National Union of Students Conference in Blackpool. About 1 o'clock in the morning. Certainly had 2 glasses of wine, and I think I ended up pushing a colleague of mine through the window of a shop on Blackpool seafront.
Oh dear.
Do you know what astonishes me? Is the fact that they were drinking wine, not brown ale.
And actually, Leona's just reminded me of another, which was much more recent. 2 years ago, at the Durham Miners Gala.
It was definitely brown ale.
Obviously.
Rather too much to drink. We came out of the big hotel in the middle of Durham, turned the wrong way, carried on walking for about, my colleague was walking, I was in my electric wheelchair, carried on traveling for about 5 miles before we realized we were going in the wrong direction for our hotel. Turned around, came back. The sun was up. It was raining, and my electric wheelchair gave out within. I suppose we could see the hotel, but we were about 50 yards away from it. And so my comrade had to go and get my car, bring it back, get the wheelchair in the back. We went back to the hotel. We had 3 hours sleep. We woke up and we thought, stop the festival, we'll go and find something to eat. It's raining. And we drove home.
Electric scooters, such fun. You've prompted a memory of mine, Doc. I mean, booze and electric scooters. It's a pretty lethal combination, isn't it? Just go to Tiverton and you will see that. But
I know Tiverton.
Yes, and you know what I mean. Obrigado, adios, enjoyed it. Says Genie King of the Enchanted Wellspring. It should have an echo on that. Now, Gary, if you look at Gary now, he's thinking, should I tell this story or not?
Oh, there are so many.
So many.
There are. That's the problem, isn't it? I need my teenage pals to remind me of. You know that? Do you remember that time? But the electric scooter thing. My mate, best man, Damien. He lives in an electric wheelchair, and when he was a little bit more mobile, we used to go around drinking in Exeter, it would just get worse and worse. And I used to ride on the back of this electric, especially on the way. Well, actually, on the way to the pub, on the way back again, and we were in the Princess Hay shopping centre, laughing. Tell Gary. From Jeannie, she's still here, I mean, you know what it's like, Doc, because you find a sixth gear on it, don't you? Once you've had a few, or I mean, it seems to me when I'm standing on the back there, on Damien's electric wheelchair, and we were herring through the Princess Hay shopping centre of Exeter, and we came around the corner a bit too fast. I mean, this thing would rear up. He used to call it, it's rearing up like a stallion, like the Cavalo Negro tonight. And because it's got a real kick on it, hasn't it? If you just put it flat, put your foot down, as it were, metaphorically, it can rear up. And if someone's standing on the back, it does that. And we could have been terribly maimed or injured with half a ton of electric wheelchair collapsing on the pair of us. But it's what we would have wanted. There we were. in this Princess A shopping centre, probably being monitored by the CCTV room. You know, they're watching everything that's going on. There's those two idiots again, herring back from the pub through Princess A. And we came around a corner, and this student lad was there just as we came around this corner. It came to a screeching halt, because you can just take your hand off the controls, can't you? And it comes to a complete electronic stop. And there was this massive look of shock on his face as he looked at us, because he hadn't seen this sort of combination before. And I said, I don't know why, it's not really funny, but I said to him, what's the matter with you? Have you never seen two middle-aged homosexuals on an electric scooter before? And he said, no. And kind of just he walked away, and we kind of looked at each other like, okay, let's go. And then, you know, pedal to the metal again, and off he went again. I've no idea why I said that. It was just, but it was a magical moment, only made possible by the the booze. Gary, are you ready for this?
Yeah, some courage.
I'm sport for choice.
Are we ready for this?
This is what I can actually talk about on the
That's
open
the problem. What
airwaves.
comes to mind, you think, no.
Plenty of them, Pen. Plenty of them.
Here's a primer, just to set a bar. Just to set a bar here. 1991. Told the girl of my dreams that Freddie's her mother after.
This was before the term MILF was even invented.
Exactly. He created a category.
Obviously
probably
not the girl of his dreams.
Not after that, anyway. Or that didn't work out too well, we're guessing, Pete.
Mother, I would like to filch.
Thanks for that graphic depiction, though. So yeah, I mean, how did that go? I mean, how did you imagine it would go, Pete? Really? It's like, okay, well, I'm all good with that. Why don't you just go out with my mum instead? No hard feelings. I mean, what did you expect the girl to say? Oh no, forgotten one. Herring down Richmond Hill in my dad's wheelchair. Here we go. The wheelchair related anecdotes are coming up. Stopped by the police. My friend leapt up. That is UK cop humor at its best. I'm imagining a UK cop saying that. That is British coppers at their best, isn't it? Saying something like that. A bit like when you go down the street, you know, with no hands on your handlebars. Yeah, you should join the circus. Get your hands on the handlebars. OMG, hilarious. Not sure which of the anecdotes so far. That's for Jeannie. Jeannie King of the Enchanted Wellspring. So you've had time, folks. Do we end it there, or does somebody want to sneak in a cheeky anecdote? Frank's biting his lip as well, I reckon.
I've got one, but it's yeah, that was bad. It's during the day it's a bar, and at night it becomes a nightclub. I think it's called the Pilot. It's in the West End of London, and I was there with my girlfriend at the time. We were sitting there during the day. We were having drinks. So during the day you can go in and have drinks and wear regular shoes or whatever. In the evening they ask you to have like specific footwear. So I'm sitting over there, we're already inside. It's now nighttime, and this bar they've got bouncers outside, and it's like a nightclub kind of environment. A friend of mine is outside, and he sends a message through another friend that I'm outside. I just don't have the correct footwear. They won't let me in. So I was completely tanked. What I did is I took my shoes off, and I told my friend to take my shoes out, my girlfriend at that time, to take the shoes outside. This idiot, she takes the shoes right in front of the bouncers, and the bouncers saw that, and they kept my shoes. So for the next hour, I was walking around the bar in socks. And then there came a time I was just like, I've got to go get my shoes. I don't know why. So I went to the bouncers, and I said, I was like, excuse me, those are mine. He said, so you're the twonk. So what they did is two of them took my hands, two of them took my legs, they swung me like this and out the door. And they threw me right on the streets. And I was outside with that friend of mine who was trying to get in. And somehow he's standing there, and as I'm outside lying on the ground, they let him in.
Did your shoes come out after you, Frank? If it is a movie,
oh, yeah. They threw the shoes at me, like you know those London bouncers with no necks.
Yeah. I mean, what were you thinking? You know, and it is about this. The thing about booze, isn't it? It's like when you suddenly think to yourself, like a cunning plan. I'm going to go and get my shoes now. Like under any other circumstances, there's no way you would have asked 4 bouncers for your shoes back. But you just suddenly thought to yourself, I'm going to go and get my shoes now. It seems like
I thought of a fairly harmless one. It's like that moment you decide to see how many people you can fit in a revolving door.
Oh, excellent. How many was that? How many, Penny? Did it jam shut on the last?
Oh, yeah, completely.
Broken limbs for the last.
Nose is pressed against the top, nose is pressed against the bottom, and everybody pissed as farts.
Excellent. Oh,
that's the only clean one I can think of.
Yeah. They're starting to flood back now. Anyway.
We went to Torquay, Leona and I, before we were together. We went with a group of stroke survivors from Birmingham, and we were there for
That's a good start. Doc, that is a good start to an anecdote, isn't it?
I love how these are all in where I live. Torquay, Exeter. It's great.
So what you don't know about my wheelchair is it's actually based on a Segway. So it's only got 2 wheels. It fascinates everyone who sees it. It does 18 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
So we were fairly drunk in this rum bar at 11 o'clock in the evening, and the barman comes over and says, how long are you planning on stopping? We normally close at 11 o'clock. And so there are about 10 of us there. So he said, oh, quite a bit longer, if that's all right by you. So anyway, at about midnight, we relieved them of about 4 beaten copper mugs. And I'm screaming down the Torquay waterfront at 80 miles an hour in the middle of the road on this wheelchair.
You see, that's what gives Brummies a bad name in Devon, isn't it?
Brummies are trouble wherever they are.
But I mean, particularly in Devon, when that he should have just been taken up to the M5 and sent back at 80 miles an hour, back up north there. Unbelievable.
There should have been a wall built along the M5 somewhere.
Yeah, that's right, at a border patrol or something. But then now we're sounding like UKIP. Who's responsible? Who's responsible for next week's liquid enjoyment? So come on, step forward. Who is this?
Me.
Penny.
Okay, so tell us about
it's
it, Penny.
It's going to be bubbly.
Oh, excellent.
Hoorah!
So I'm on Prosecco next week then.
You have it?
We have it.
We have it.
We have it.
We have it.
Brilliant.
I tend to go out on Thursday for mine, but I might. I mean, Doc, you're doing a great job in making us a little bit more ahead of time on this. Can we tell Anna and everybody what it is for those, excuse me, who want a bit more of a head start?
If I could remember, yeah, it's bubbly.
Okay, so
San Domingo.
San Domingo Rosé Brut. Spumante.
Domingo. Okay, if I go and look in the events, I can probably cut and paste the name, can't I? So let me do that. But a great evening, folks. Thank you so much. Let's not say any more that we might regret. But I'm going to find this wine for next week, and then after that, because actually we're a bit ahead of ourselves, aren't we? So please, what else is in the pipeline? Help me out here, because while I find this for next week, what's happening in the week and the week after? Because I think we're ahead of ourselves, aren't we?
Gary and Linda with the corral.
Oh yeah, we're going to liqueur, aren't we? We're going.
Yes, I mean
Yeah,
that's
another
in
one
the
after
realm,
that as well.
that's in the realm of the Matias Rosé, isn't it? The Beirão. Yeah, I mean it's a very Portuguese thing. Yeah. Okay.
That's where we'll be going. One of those.
All right. Fabulous.
I've drank that, but I won't be able to get it. No chance. Not in the UK.
You might. You might.
Really? Whereabouts do you
really?
think?
Fortnum and Masons, I would say.
I got mine from Portugalia, I think. Portugalia online.
Mm.
I
Okay,
think.
I'll have a look.
Well, hopefully it'll arrive in time. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Right. I'm nearly there.
Come on, Doug. You've got to be intrepid and get out
vineyards.
there online.
I'll have a look, see if I can find.
Just do an
All right.
internet search, see if anybody does it in the UK. I'm sure I've seen it in a supermarket somewhere, but I can't remember which. Possibly Waitrose, something like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, there's a Waitrose not too far away. Yeah.
I wouldn't say for certain, but I know I've seen it somewhere.
While I was trying to find that, Neil's already done it in the comments there. Fantastic. So San Domingos Espumante Brut Rosé, a Rosé Fairs led by Penny Albertella. Do you think, look at this, because it says great Penny Albertella. What will it be? So we've solved that. But do you think there are favourites now among the viewing public? You know, wondering who it is and what it might be. Who knows? Maybe there are. Maybe the bar is being raised all the time for us. The pressure's on. And you know, hopefully we don't get too much performance anxiety or whatever. But that can all be addressed. I can't with a glass of wine, no problem there. Doc, is the wine, the wine database available yet?
Well, Kent, you know, I have to spend time trawling back through videos and obtaining the data. And before that, I had to get the approval of my fellow wine ninjas for the format that the database would take. Having got that approval, I will be adding at least 2 historical wines a week, and there are 34 to go.
Right.
So that will be 17 weeks of work. The current week, so I'll be doing 3 per week. I'm not going to sit here and do nothing else, but I will do.
Ken, that's a really long way of saying no.
God bless you, Doc. God bless you.
Yeah, but at the same time, God bless you. God bless you, Doc, for even taking that on. That's awesome. Okay.
That events page is a good place to look, though. He's got that going pretty well, I noticed. So, you know, what's upcoming.
He's done us proud. Absolutely done us proud with that. There might be a movie made of this, and then that's going to be a lot of fun. And then you'll get a massive fee for being the researcher on that film, Doc. So something to look forward to there. So let's close. But before we do, I mean, you know, I want to go around the room and see if anybody's got any words of wisdom in these trying and testing times that we live in, with the glimmer of light on the horizon that is coming towards us of the new normal, or the normal, the unprecedented, extra super normal, whatever it might be that's coming down the track towards us.
I need to get out. I need to get out soon.
So basically, from Gary, I need to get out soon. That's enough. Linda, did you want to add to that? Yes, you want him to go out soon.
Probably.
Have you guys noticed? No matter where we live, 4 walls is 4 walls.
Absolutely. There's Doug's words of wisdom. I think we should do this every week. So 4 walls is 4 walls, the famous Welsh saying. And I loved your Gareth joke earlier on.
Davies, Gareth Edwards.
Gareth
come off.
All right. Coimbra. And now they're over the absolute bitterness and rancor of the wine. What words of wisdom or hopes do you have for the future that you might want to share?
So we have a great strategy now. We go out every day looking for the wine in all the different supermarkets.
Yes.
So that's what
it's a good nice walk. Well, before what used to happen when it was during the lockdown, I used to carry a shopping bag with me just so in case the cops stop me, I could be like, grocery, supermercado, pound. You fit down, something. So it's like now I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to carry that bag anymore.
But they know who you are, don't they? They know who you are now. And like the GNR.
They pretty much know. They just can't be bothered. It's just fiddling around with a foreigner for like half an hour before giving him a ticket must be so annoying. It's like, why did I even stop this idiot? Like, why couldn't I just let him go?
Exactly. But they'll know you on their Lovely to see you here. Thank you very much for being the the phrase I heard this morning on Boom Radio was behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes. Is that how it's been?
Absolutely, they are. That is this woman.
Go on, dude. Go on.
Welcome.
In my case, Carl, it was behind every great man, which I am not. There's a woman with a rolling pin.
Yeah, I can imagine, Doug, in your case. Leona, have you joined us to give some words of wisdom? They're much needed.
Yes, let's have some wisdom.
Get Alicia back to school ASAP.
Is that a direct appeal to your child? Okay, yeah. Children go back to school.
Here we go. Drink more, talk less.
Okay.
We'd have a rubbish show, though, wouldn't we?
While we're here, right? Gotta say this because Doc is the medical man, right? And the past few days, I've not drunk wine. I'll give it up, right? I thought lay off for a bit, be a good lad, and moderate.
You're a good lad.
My blood pressure went through the roof. My blood pressure went through the roof. It just
really.
So it's back to the red wine for me now. It's under control again. So
blood pressure. Wine is a vasodilator, so it relaxes the arterial muscle, and so the pressure decreases.
Hence, Brewer's Drew.
This is what. So just it's medication, isn't it? Really. So
well, can I do a Roy Castle? Medication is what you need if you want to be the best. Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah.
In moderation, of course. In moderation.
And remember this: life is but an illusion caused by the lack of alcohol.
Absolutely.
You've had more than your fair share of gems of wisdom tonight, there, Doug. Has anybody? Because what I'm aware of now is that normally we do this when the camera's off, but I've left it running tonight, way over time. And I'm going to finish now. But did anybody get ready to say and share something that I might have thwarted them by cutting off prematurely? So Penny, yes, Penny.
Just very quickly, hug your grandchildren very tightly and vote socialist.
Yes,
that's an order. That's an order. Yeah. That's going to go down well in America.
Well, okay. I've got my Liberal Democrat tie on today.
Sitting on the floor. Boo! Should we give him a public booing now?
Yeah,
I never voted for the Lib Dems, though. Let me add.
That was a test. Don't you dare boo anybody on here. But seriously, Doug.
Yeah,
boo. Okay, sorry, Frank.
I hope Charles is not watching.
Yeah.
I hope he is.
I mean,
there's a reason the best wine is red.
Oh yes, very good, very good.
Yes, I never thought of that one.
I mean, it all went downhill after Paddy Pants Down, didn't it?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember his gaffe on television when he said that he was looking forward to the general election?
Of course he was. Okay, so let's leave it there. Let's leave that hanging. Always a pleasant atmosphere here. So good. Thank you, Nuno Mendes. Great to know you've been with us tonight. And look at this as a final thing. Jeannie King of the Enchanted Wellspring. Penny's got my vote. Excellent.
Can I do that one? Hang on a minute. If I turn this. Jeannie King of the Enchanted Wellspring.
Perfect. He's available. He's available for hire on that cameo thing. If you want Doug to record you a jingle, he's available. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.